Hi, so still at the doghouse, and I have taken advantage of the downtime this week, and I have done a lot of inner work and meditation. And I want to tell you about an interesting one that happened yesterday with my divine masculine. I thought I was just going to go up and say, "Hi, how you doing?" And then I was going to move on and go talk to my grandpa Stone, but that's not what happened. We ended up going to the sixth dimension yesterday. And the first thing we do, we go into this dark, gloomy, gray room. And I was like, "What's this?" And he goes, "This is where we heal trauma at." And I was like, "Okay, so are we going to stay here?" And he's like, "No." He goes, "We're going over here." So we go into this next room, and it's like really super white, bright, kind of like I felt like I was going in for an MRI or something, because he had me lay down on this table, and it was very bright in there, and he had access to source energy. And so he goes, "We're going to work on some of your childhood trauma and inner child stuff and whatever," which keeps coming up when I do the cards for myself as a block. That's one of the things that keeps coming up for me, is inner child stuff. And to be frank, I haven't really figured out how to do that until yesterday. I think I maybe got someplace with that. So he lays me down on the table and kind of starts working on me, doing whatever. And the first thing that he said was, he goes, "You have a love-hate relationship with your body." And as soon as he said that, I started crying in real life. I mean, the emotions just kind of went whoop, and out they came. And I was like, "Yeah, I do. I have a love-hate relationship with my body." And he goes, "Well, we're going to work on that today." And I was like, "Okay, so are you going to help me learn how to love my body and everything about me?" And he goes, "Well, we're going to try." And so what he had me do was, he had me start at my hair, and I had to say why I liked my hair. And then I went down to my eyes, and I talked about why I liked my eyes. And then I went to my skin, why I liked my skin. I'll be honest, when I got to my boobs and my fat belly, I had a really, really hard time coming up with anything good about those. So that took a while to find something good about those areas of my body. We worked our ways down to my legs and my toes, and flipped me over, and worked on my butt and different things. And so when we came out of that, he had me flip back over again, and was kind of like, he's like, "You've got some stuck energy around your, like on your left side, on like in my ovary area." And I was like, "Well, that's interesting. I don't really have any problems with that. I mean, I've I've never had any. Now I will say, my mom died of ovarian cancer, but I personally have never taken on any of that fear of like, oh my God, I'm going to die of ovarian cancer like my mom did." So he's like, well, let's figure out what it is. And I'm kind of like going, I'm trying to think of what it was. And all of a sudden it came to me what trauma, or what maybe stuck emotion or whatever was in that area. Well, it took me back to when I was 14, I think 14-ish, 14, 15. I don't know. I was a freshman in high school. I know that. It was either September 14th or September 16th, and it would have been 1979. And I was a late bloomer when it came to starting my period. Most of the girls my age had already started, and I even remember my mom, our regular doctor, having me go to a specialist in Terre Haute just to see if there was something physically wrong with me, because he was really surprised that I hadn't started yet. And the doctor was like, "You know what? I don't see anything wrong. You know, some people just start later in life than others. And so anyway, I ended up starting my period at school one day. And the reason it was very significant for me and why I remember that day specifically, other than starting at school and being humiliated by my friend, was it was the day that my mom started back to work after being a stay-at-home mom my whole life. And she had some resentment around that, I'm sure, because she did not want to go back to work, but we had moved to a new house and my dad kind of made her go because we needed the money. She didn't want, you know, anyway, that's a whole different story. But so at school that day, I'd had cramps and stuff, and I'd gone to the bathroom and there's blood. Like, oh my God. And I remember telling Connie Heyer about it because she rode the bus with me and they were neighbors of mine. And I think I was the one, I told her. She was probably in the bathroom with me. And then she went out and told everybody, or, you know, and was making fun of me. And you know, what I remember about that was, one, kind of being a little proud that finally I've started and now I'm going to be like everybody else instead of abnormal, but also being a little bit embarrassed that, you know, I mean, when you're 14 or 15 and you have somebody telling somebody that around school. So long story short, apparently that had been a stuck emotion that was in my body from years past. And I did not know that. So anyway, I just wanted to share that little interesting meditation. And I'm curious if anybody else goes and does stuff like this. How does no, this is what I want to know. How do other people go in and heal inner child stuff? That's what I really want to know. That's how I went in and did some work, but I want to know how you guys have gone in and healed inner child work. Is there like a specific thing that you have done? Because I'm really interested in that. I'm interested in, you know, now that I've kind of figured out, it's like going, well, we got to tweak here, we got to tweak here. We've got a few things that I need to still work on. Right now, my mission is figure it out and blast it out. Figure it out and blast it out of here. So if anybody has any surefire ways of doing that, I am very seriously interested in knowing how to do that. So please comment in the remarks below. And I will see y'all later. I think that's the end of that meditation. There's just been some crazy stuff going. A lot of healing going on in this house. And the blinking lights seem to have stopped. So I apparently have gotten the message from whoever was trying to communicate with me, or done whatever I needed to do, because this morning the lights stopped blinking, that were blinking all week. And go figure. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.